Now, Danny G, I know how it feels to come in to work when you work in the world of sports the day after your team loses. I love the fact you have the pride to wear your Lakers hat today.
Yeah, I noticed it. I noticed it.
I just feel like even the casual NBA fan, even if they wanted the Lakers to lose eventually, a first-round exit just stinks. That's really, there's no other way to put it. It just stinks.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
But I've been through this with my favorite baseball team. Dodgers, a couple seasons in a row, had the same sort of exit. And, you know, you feel fortunate to be there. You don't want to go out that quickly, but obviously there's a lot of reasons on why the Lakers fell short.
Yeah, you would have assumed. I mean, I thought for sure they'd win last night at home and then eventually maybe lose.
Yeah,
Right off the bat, though, I think people forget how good the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Wolves, as Monty says, were last season. How deep into the playoffs they went last season.
And I think, now, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm wrong quite a bit. But something we're going to go over on Overpromise because we have so many other things to get to now. But I want everyone to think about this and join us after the show because we have our bonus video pod. Is Anthony Edwards and the T-Wolves, is that the fun story if your team's out of it? Like, is it an easy rooting interest? Like, yo, Anthony Edwards, fun young kid. Minnesota's never won before.
That's the key right there.
Small market team.
To see him to see the Anthony Edwards that took out LeBron, Luka, Lakers, and to see him move forward and see him take out other teams, yeah, that'll be like, man, the birth of this legacy.
Because
or on the other side, Rich, the mecca of basketball.
Madison Square Garden, the Knicks. I mean, that might be the matchup.
And they're due, yeah.
People want to see. I just think there's certain teams that if you told me it was going to be Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics, to me, well-deserved great franchises and organizations, but Luka versus the Celtics again would sort of be not tickling my huevos at all, to be honest. So, hey, we'll get to that on Overpromise. But when it comes to the Lakers, Danny, you were sending us a bunch of articles about JJ Redick.
Yeah, and the latest one from Bleacher Report, he says that the team needs to get into championship shape.
I'll say.
The conditioning you saw in the fourth quarters where they had leads earlier in the series, and then last night, with that small ball lineup that Redick was going with, which he's getting a lot of crap for, they were able to come back and tighten the game up and tie it at one point, go ahead by a point or two at one point. But you could see towards the end of the game, just like the previous playoff game, they started to stand around the three-point line, and the offense was not moving fluidly, and that's a problem. Small ball gives you an advantage. Why? Because supposedly you could run up and down the court and use your speed to your advantage and maybe find some mismatches on the floor.
Yeah.
Open things up, right? But when the offense gets stagnant and starts standing around, remember that stretch where the game was tied 82-82?
Yeah.
And it seemed like forever. And the guys, when they're standing around tired like that and Reeves is chucking up threes and LeBron starts chucking up threes. Yeah, exactly. That's when
they're out of gas.
Yeah, for sure.
There was one moment, and I don't want to lazily add to the Luka conditioning narrative. That's not what I'm trying to do. But there was a point where, remember when Luka went in for that layup and he was convinced he was fouled, and he really wasn't, and he just missed the layup. His body language from that point on, with a couple minutes left in the game, was like
well, it's not that
shoulders.
They're not conditioned, right? Like, imagine you telling LeBron, like, he needs to condition better. He'd look at you like, you're telling me? It's championship shape. I believe that was the quote. Take a listen to JJ Redick.
I'll start with the offseason and the work that's required in an offseason to be in championship shape. And
that's the key.
You know, we have a ways to go as a roster, and certainly there are individuals that were in phenomenal shape. There's certainly other ones that could have been in better shape. That's where my mind goes immediately. Is we have to get in championship shape.
I love this for multiple reasons. It takes the heat off of him and his decisions, right? His coaching.
Does it though?
Because it's getting criticized, and it also exposes the truth here. Because be real about it. These are all great teams, and every great team is looking for that mismatch or that edge. And the edge here was they weren't as in championship shape as the Timberwolves. It could be an age thing or just a conditioning thing, and it was so noticeable. When the casual fan could notice this, you know there's an issue, and he pointed it out, and he's right about it. I think that was what really separated. And it's a shame that the Lakers didn't necessarily get outplayed. They got outconditioned.
I certainly don't want to make an excuse for the Lakers, but do you think in offseason, a couple more moves, and now Luka and LeBron, a full year together, will make a difference next year? I know we're running
100%.
We're running out of LeBron time. Like, clock is ticking.
Do you remember the narrative right after the trade happened? We heard a lot of, especially talking heads on TV, say the Mavericks won this trade short term, but the Lakers won this trade long term because they could build around Luka now. But then AD got hurt, and people kind of forgot that take, and now we're at where we're at right now. But remember, a lot of people knew this team was incomplete because of defense, because of the lack of size going into the playoffs.
And LeBron refused to talk about what they need moving forward because of the lack of size.
Or his actual future.
Yeah, and his actual future. But yeah, it was sort of deflating, disappointing. Like, that was it. You guys couldn't even get out of the first round. They couldn't win at home. One more game, nothing. And I mean, unless you're a Timberwolves fan, I'm happy for our boss who was there with his family. I'm happy for him, not to kiss ass. But other than that, it's like, oh, man, I wanted to see it extend a little further than that. Show some fight. But I do believe that it had to do with the conditioning, Rich.
We should have some contract talks today.
Hey, based on that.
Good mood.
Yeah, good
Conditioning, Covino, and let's be honest, Redick, as much as he did a good job for his first year, because, that's another thing. Think back to when the season started. Oh, what a joke of a hire. 19 wins for this guy. Watch.
He's doing a podcast last week. Now
exactly.
He's coaching.
50-win season. He did a great job in the regular season, especially with all the stuff that happened throughout the year. But he did get out-coached in the playoffs, but he's a rookie coach.
And LeBron spoke very highly. He said, he can confirm that they have a great coach moving forward, and he was impressed for his buddy in his first year coaching. Now, based on that, though, Rich, right? Redick calling out the conditioning. To me, that's conditioning coaches, trainers, the players, their eating habits, everything. They're not in championship shape. It's JJ Redick. He's the coach. Does it matter who you get advice or criticism from?
Yes, because I think JJ Redick, I think the record shows that where he lacked in talent, no one ever questioned his conditioning, work ethic, and hustle on the court. So I think JJ Redick, it's not like he's some lazy slob saying, my team needs to be more conditioned. This is a guy that even as a coach is a guy that's in shape, not far removed from the court, always a guy that seems very disciplined.